Alright, so imagine this. Imagine me chilling at my job, doing my work, making some phone calls, sending out some emails, kind of what I typically do on a day-to-day basis. I get a notification on my phone. It's Woj tweeting about the CJ McCollum trade. I'm like, wow, this is a big trade. Something for me to talk about and something for me to post tonight. Great. Then I get another tweet, another notification, and 2 hours later, shit you not, it is the ultimate Woj bomb that we had so far of the trade deadline. It is the Domantas Sabonis for Tyrese Haliburton trade, and I'm like, all right, scrap whatever Portland video I wanted to make. I wanted to make an extensive video on that. Fuck that. Throw that shit to the side. That video is going to be reserved for something else that I'm planning on doing this Thursday. So we're going to be talking about that on Thursday or possibly sometime soon. But if you guys are excited for what I have planned for Thursday's trade deadline, make sure to subscribe and turn on post notifications. You guys want to stick around and wait for that to drop because honestly, it's going to be a massive, I think, step forward in this channel. And honestly, I think it's going to be great. It's going to be entertaining. We're going to have lots of fun interacting with you guys, Ben and I. So, yeah. But, yeah, let's get into this massive news of why the Sacramento Kings once again fucked themselves for the future. All right, so the trade is Domantas Sabonis, Jeremy Lamb, and Jeremy Lamb again, Justin Holiday, and a 2027 second-round pick for Buddy Hield, Tristan Thompson, and the big name on this is Tyrese Haliburton. Now, Tyrese Haliburton, I think, honestly, I should be a little upset by this. He was one of the big proponents of wanting to rebuild the Kings culture and wanting to make them better and probably make them back to what they were back in the early 2000s when they were in the Western Conference Final against Kobe and Shaq. But now he's going to Indiana, which honestly might be the perfect situation for him. He's going to be under Rick Carlisle, which I think is going to be a great coach to develop him. He's going to be next to Chris Duarte, which I think is going to be an excellent backcourt partner. He's going to be with Miles Turner. And I think, honestly, Indiana has put themselves in a good position that 2-3 years from now, we could be talking about them possibly making the playoffs once again. And, not just as a play-in tournament, like probably a 4th or 5th seed, because they've positioned themselves really well here. And also, I was actually a bigger fan of them keeping Miles Turner than trading Domantas Sabonis. I wanted them to keep Miles Turner. I think he's going to be a much more valuable asset for what Rick Carlisle wants to do. And honestly, you might be able to pick up a few more assets before Thursday. You think about it, they have Ricky Rubio's expiring contract. I think that's around $13 million. I think that's going to be a good trade package for whatever they do, especially if they're going to look to get rid of TJ Warren, which, by the way, I was thinking about this on the ride home from work. Him and Linsanity are like recent memory of average to mediocre players, like Hall of Fame of average to mediocre players, like killing it in the right circumstances. Bubble Warren was, averaging like 30 points, 35 points a game in the bubble. Linsanity, like that was crazy. I was rooting for Jeremy Lin, and I'm a Heat fan when he was playing for the Knicks. Obviously, then Mario Chalmers and North Cole destroyed him when they came to Miami, but yeah, but Linsanity was an awesome time in the NBA. I wish we can go back to that time. Anyways, like I was saying, for the Pacers, this is obviously a massive W. I think also picking up Buddy Hield, who I think is averaging over 40% from three, or at least averaging over 35, 36, 37% from three, which is still great for this Pacers team. They could also move on from Michael Brogdon as well, get some more assets out of him. And I think also being able to have their top pick, they're 13th right now in the league. They're for out east. You'll have maybe a top 10 pick, possibly top 7. And honestly, that's a good deal because now you get another young piece to build around an already young and decent core, in my opinion. You can add more veteran pieces and add more options to this team. 2-3 years from now, this is looking up. Like, Rick Carlisle might lead them back to what we saw 7, 8, 6 years ago. I can't believe it's already been that long. When we saw Roy Hibbert, David West, George Hill, and Paul George, taking LeBron James in the Big Three of Miami to 7 games in the Eastern Conference Finals or in the semis. Like, we could be seeing that sort of Pacers team back in a couple years from now if they develop this team correctly, which I think they've done a tremendous job doing so. I think Chris Duarte has been up there in conversation for Rookie of the Year. At least all rookie first teams, he's played that well. And coupled with the fact that you now keep Miles Turner, who I'm a big fan of, over Domantas Sabonis, which I think that was a great part of that trade. I think honestly this is a big win for Indiana fans and for the Pacers. For Sacramento, however, look, Tyrese Haliburton wanted to restructure your future. He wanted to be a part of that future. He wanted to change the culture of what the Kings are perceived as the Queens. Like, they are a shitty franchise, and deservedly so. They have mismanaged several all-star level players, or all-star caliber players, or players with all-star caliber or potential. But DeMarcus Cousins is one of them. I definitely feel like his treatment in Sacramento has not been great. Isaiah Thomas, another one in recent memory. The list goes on, you know, and also poor draft picks, poor management, firing and letting go head coaches, a revolving door of head coaches. It just honestly hasn't been good for Sacramento. For Domantas Sabonis, I believe he has one more year left on his contract, so I would be interested to see what he does in about a year or two from now, to see if he does stick around in Sacramento. I doubt it. I think he might be able to play on a contending team soon. But this is essentially the the Marvin Bagley replacement. Also, by the way, they have absolutely no shooting now on this team. De'Aaron Fox isn't a great shooter. Harrison Barnes, I think, is the only one averaging over 30% from three, which, look, is fine. I mean, but he could also be someone that the Sacramento Kings move on from before Thursday. And also picking up Jeremy Lamb and Justin Holiday, yeah, great pieces, but that's not going to push you into play-in tournament contention if you were looking at that. I honestly think a backcourt of Davion Mitchell and Tyrese Haliburton would have been the future. If you could have got rid of De'Aaron Fox and Buddy Hield in his trade, or a combination of the two, or one or the other, I think this would have been a bigger W for Sacramento, or at least a better trade for Sacramento in their favor. But now we're talking about potentially a backcourt of the future in Indiana and Chris Duarte and Tyrese Haliburton, who, by the way, is shooting over 40% from three with a somehow worse looking jump shot than Sean Marion's. Like, it is incredible. But look, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Like I said in this video, I think Indiana took a massive W on this trade. I think they're going to have in the future an excellent backcourt of the two, and being able to keep Miles Turner and possibly pick up other future assets as well. I know the Karis LeVert thing, we could talk about that on Thursday's big time thing. So again, if you guys are excited for Thursday, smash the like and turn on post notifications and subscribe, so that way you guys know when the thing that I'm going to be doing on Thursday goes up, or just whatever I'm doing. Don't want to spoil it for you guys. Let me know if Sacramento still sucks, and as always, take it easy, have a good one, and peace.